المستخلفين فيه فالذين آمنوا منكم وأنفقوا لهم أجر كبير.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Their Highness, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Qassimi, Supreme Council Member, ruler of Sharjah, founder and president of the American University of Sharjah, AUS Chancellor Peter Heath, Arab International Women's Forum founder chairman, Haifa Fahum Al-Kailani, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We host the Arab International Women's Forum 2012, themed Emerging Economies, Emerging Leaderships, Arab women and youth as driver of change, with great anticipation and clear evidence that our continued efforts under the aegis of His Highness in capacity building are paying dividends. Our marquee convocation marks the 11th anniversary of the AIWF, an organization whose time has come, and one that has steadfastly catalyzed long overdue social and economic change and in depth throughout the fabric of society. For the first time since 2007, the forum is being held within the GCC rather than in Europe and in the US. AIWF's growing impact is confirmed by its collaborative endeavors with the League of Arab States, the European Commission and the European Parliament, United Nations organizations and agencies, mentioned the OECD, the World Bank, the Arab British Chamber of Commerce in the UK, a multitude of chambers of commerce and women's business councils throughout the Arab world, and the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office, just to mention a few of the AIWF's partners. Our 2012 conference thus builds on the outcomes and achievements brought forth the milestone 10th anniversary of the AIWF held in London, though with broad horizons clearly in sight for the 11th annual forum. From the perspective of historical context, it is not coincidental that we convene at the American University of Sharjah in the Emirate of Sharjah. His Highness, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Qassimi, founded AUS to seed an inclusive society with trained leaders and innovative and skilled professionals of both genders. Higher education thus joins institutions specifically designed and envisioned by our ruler for empowering and advancing the well-being of women and young professionals in the early years of their careers. The Emirate of Sharjah and His Highness himself, through personal daily attention, in spite of his very busy governmental schedule, are widely recognized for bettering the day-to-day living of all social sectors and for initiating change continuously that will render greater social and economic equanimity as its long-term strategic goal. Let us bear in mind that the advancing of all social sectors, and especially women, pays great dividends for Gulf society and the Arab world. It almost goes without saying to all those present today that self-realized personalities of all backgrounds and social categories, in their own turn, repay the investment in their skills many times over in the contribution to the economy and the country. This enlightened capacity building under the aegis of His Highness renders the lives of Sharjah and its neighbors and the neighboring Gulf countries far better places to live for us all. This year, commemorating the 14th anniversary of accession of His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Qassimi to the rulership of Sharjah. These 4 decades have seen breathtaking developments in culture, heritage, the arts, and science on so many fronts, at home and abroad, as well as the great participation of citizens of both genders in the rapidly expanding private sector and capacity building initiatives of all sorts in the Emirates. Sharjah has received awards as the cultural capital of the Arab world for its many museums, its many universities, and many more. It is widely recognized for blazing the way for women in leadership, in business, science, engineering, and the arts. In short, Sharjah, through the vision of His Highness, is a tolerant society, steeped in its values, mindful of its culture, where talents in many forms are nourished for the benefit of businesswomen, artists, and scientists alike. Her Highness Sheikh bin Mohammad Qassimi, the wife of the ruler of Sharjah and the chairperson of the Sharjah Supreme Council for Family Affairs, who, as our mentor, we, women, constantly reminded us of how supportive our beloved ruler is of all her initiatives and undertakings, as my dear friend and colleague, Noura Al-Numan, will tell us a bit later today. Her Highness has also stood at the forefront with the continuous encouragement and guidance of His Highness to support and encourage women through the Sharjah Women's Council, the Sharjah Supreme Council for Family Affairs, and the Sharjah Ladies Club, to name but a few proactive venues channeling constructive and effective change. Conclusion, we are delighted, Your Highness, that you have taken the time in your manifold governmental duties to see the quintessence of your ongoing long trajectory of opening the floodgates of talent of all and for all, which are being materialized here today. It is my firm conviction and belief that our deliberations during the forum's next 2 days, under the aegis of His Highness, will conclusively demonstrate just how solid His Highness's pioneering foundations of empowering women and the youthful professionals of both genders in all walks of life have proven in building a new era of renaissance, and this is only normal for an enlightened ruler and a well-read scholar and author in his own right. It is now my privilege and honor to introduce to you another mentor of mine, AUS Chancellor Peter Heath. Chancellor Heath has served at the helm of AUS for 4 years, after coming to us as Provost at the American University of Beirut. I can personally attest how much he has encouraged the promotion of many women to executive positions across the university and supported them in countless less visible ways, as you may read in the Financial Times report, which Mark Coverly and David Aberfield are kind enough to share with us today. Professor Heath has especially been supportive of my own effort and those of our dear colleague, Vice Chancellor Dr. Moza Al-Sheikh, who is a mentor for all students of AUS, and I would like you to join me, please, in welcoming Professor Peter Heath to address us today.
Good morning, Your Highness, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Al-Qassimi, Supreme Council Member of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Sharjah, and founder and president of the American University of Sharjah. Mrs. Haifa Mohammad, Your Excellency, Chairman of the Arab International Women Forum. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here this morning to the American University of Sharjah. I would like to begin by thanking the Arab International Women's Forum for the opportunity they have extended to this university to work together, to find ways and to think about ways in the next 2 days of how better to include women and young workers more fully into the private and public sectors in the future. AIWF's networking of women entrepreneurs for our national development is more than kindness. It is really necessary. The women entrepreneurs in this room are proof that women are doers and achievers, thinkers and innovators, leaders and problem solvers. And we need each and every one of you to lend your entrepreneurial skills and your energy to meet the current economic challenges that our region faces. Promoting women's entrepreneurship seeds broader and deeper economic progress. There isn't any way that we can increase prosperity and stability throughout the region unless women are full partners in the community, the country, the region, and the world economy. How quickly we innovate and how intelligently we use innovations will decide how efficiently our region can compete and how viable we will be in competing with the nations that have industrialized for longer periods of time. The Gulf countries have instigated impressive programs to create skills and place young workers in the private sector. The preamble of our AIWF conference today calls for building stronger, more economically viable communities through greater inclusion of all social sectors, so especially by including including women. Talent is universal, but opportunity is not. Women are still saddled with unfair and untrue assumptions that they are less capable of starting and running businesses. We are prying open the doors of opportunity for more people to walk through. Making women a focus of national policy is not just the right thing to do, it is also the smart thing to do. It is crucial that women and youth are given the essential tools, training, and hands-on experience that will ensure that they are work ready. Plenary sessions today will explore the importance of education, leadership training, capacity building, and self-development for our young, globally minded citizens, who will be the ones to transition our respective economies from emerging to fully emerged. I wish to emphasize the transformative leadership role that women will play over the next few decades. Jobs as graduates from this university. There are a growing number of women of all tiers in the AUS administration and among our board of trustees. The Office of Development and Alumni Affairs has a successful program in placing young women and men with suitable companies. The UAE and the region are certainly on a journey, and we are getting better as we get stronger. The AIWF will explore how women can turn their entrepreneurial dreams and innovations into successful businesses. These will generate income for themselves, their families, create jobs for others, expand markets, and fuel progress in their communities. Public-private partnerships will also be available to make use of a reservoir of untapped potential. And by creating these networks of support, this organization and universities such as AUS can build locally driven and locally supported organizations that bring about lasting change and progress. So in conclusion, the goals of the organization are aligned well with our university, and nobody should really underestimate the potential of Arab women entrepreneurs and business leaders. So I congratulate all those who invited here. I had the pleasure of meeting the board members yesterday, and I can't be more impressed. I think any one of them could replace me today on this podium and have as much great things to say. I want to thank Mrs. Al-Kilani for bringing this forum here for the next 2 days. And I would like to also have the privilege of inviting her to come and speak and address this group. Mrs. Al-Kilani, please. And I would like to alert you that she will say the first few words in Arabic in order to greet our local guests, and also I think to point out that we are in Arab world here. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حضرة صاحب السمو الشيخ الدكتور سلطان بن محمد القاسمي، عضو المجلس الأعلى لاتحاد دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة، حاكم إمارة الشارقة، الرئيس الأعلى للجامعة الأمريكية في الشارقة، أصحاب المعالي، حضرات السيدات والسادة الحضور الكرام. يشرفني ويسعدني بالأصالة عن نفسي وباسم المنتدى العربي الدولي للمرأة أن أرحب بكم اليوم في الشارقة في هذه المناسبة الخاصة، مناسبة انعقاد المؤتمر السنوي للمنتدى تحت عنوان قيادات رائدة في الاقتصاد الناشئ، المرأة والشباب في العالم العربي محفز التخليد. وأود في البداية أن أنتهز هذه الفرصة الطيبة والكريمة لأعبر كرئيس وبالنيابة عن أعضاء المنتدى العربي الدولي للمرأة عن خالص مشاعر الامتنان والتقدير لصاحب السمو الشيخ الدكتور سلطان القاسمي أطال الله في عمره، والذي تكرم برعاية مؤتمرنا لهذا العام في حرم الجامعة الأمريكية في الشارقة. والمنتدى إذ يعتز ويفتخر بهذه الرعاية الكريمة ننوه بفخر وباعتزاز بالدور الريادي الذي يقوم به صاحب السمو الشيخ الدكتور سلطان القاسمي في كافة مجالات العمل الثقافي والعلمي والحضاري المتميز في الشارقة والعالم العربي ودوليا. وأود هنا أن أشيد بصاحبة السمو الشيخة جواهر بنت محمد القاسمي أطال الله في عمرها، والتي تعطي المثل الأعلى للمرأة في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة والعالم العربي في العلم والعطاء والمحبة. سيداتي سادتي، الشارقة هي التراث والتاريخ والحضارة، وأصبحت بقيادتها الحكيمة تعرف بروحها الريادية في كونها مركزا للتميز الثقافي والأكاديمي والحضاري، ومركزا ماليا مهما ووجها للشركات العالمية. ولقد تفضلتم يا صاحب السمو بقول إن بناء المستقبل رهن ببناء الإنسان، وهذا هو جوهر ما تقومون به في إمارة الشارقة من دعم العنصر البشري رجالا ونساء، أطفالا وشبابا، وبناء قدراته عن طريق العلم والثقافة والانفتاح. فنوجه لكم يا صاحب السمو منا جميعا أسمى مشاعر التقدير والاحترام، متمنين لسموكم دوام التوفيق والنجاح في كل مساعيكم المباركة الرائدة في بناء أسس مجتمع يتميز بالتقدم والنهضة والاستقرار والازدهار. كما نتمنى لسموكم المزيد من الإنجاز الذي يساهم في بناء حاضر الدول العربية ومستقبلها. أشكر حسن إصغائكم وأرجو أن تسمحوا لي أن أكمل الكلمة باللغة الإنجليزية. Your Excellency, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Al-Qassimi, member of the Supreme Council of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Sharjah, and president of the American University of Sharjah. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure indeed, both personally and on behalf of the Arab International Women's Forum, to welcome all our honored guests this morning to the AIWF conference, Emerging Economies, Emerging Leaderships, Arab Women and Youth as Drivers of Change at the American University of Sharjah. The AIWF is very proud to be co-hosting this important two-day conference with the American University of Sharjah, one of the leading universities and centers of excellence in the region, to bring together Arab and global leaders in business, public life, academia, civil society, to examine the role of women and youth as drivers of change in the Arab world. We are proud indeed to host our annual conference under the esteemed patronage of His Highness, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Al-Qassimi, member of the Supreme Council of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Sharjah, and president of the American University of Sharjah. We recognize with much appreciation the leadership and outstanding support of His Highness in pursuing sustainable development through the many valuable social and economic initiatives he has launched in the Emirate to nurture civic awareness and promote social connectivity between communities and government. His Highness has also been instrumental in fostering a unique cultural legacy for the Emirate through the museums, the institutes, and promoting culture, literature, academia, the conservation of national heritage, commerce, industry, and agriculture. Indeed, Sharjah is standing in the international community as a leading center of knowledge, culture, and innovation in the region, and as one of the Arab world's most important trade hubs, is a testament to His Highness's vision for the Emirate. I take this opportunity to extend our warmest thanks and appreciation to Chancellor Dr. Peter Heath and his esteemed colleagues, notably Dr. Nada Murtada Sabah, Vice Chancellor for Development and Alumni Affairs at the American University of Sharjah. We thank you for your partnership on this special and important occasion and for the invaluable support and cooperation established between the AIWF and the AUS for many years. We offer our very special thanks and appreciation to the World Bank and the OECD for their full support as institutional partners. I also wish to thank the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Trade for their valued support. Distinguished guests, our conference would not have been possible without the valued cooperation and support of our global corporate partners and other partners, notably PepsiCo, Manpower Group, Petrofac, Pfizer, DLA Piper, and PricewaterhouseCoopers. We extend our deepest appreciation for the generous cooperation we have received from all our parties. I would like also to applaud and acknowledge the valued support and cooperation that AIWF has established with the Financial Times since 2007, and we are very proud that the special report on women in the Arab awakening was made to be coinciding with our conference today. Our very deep and special thanks are expressed to all the distinguished guest speakers who have traveled from all over the world to be with us today, taking time from their busy schedules to share and exchange expertise, best practice, and recommendations. I extend a very warm welcome to all our valued members and delegates representing 35 countries, out of which 18 came from the Arab region. And we thank you all for accepting our invitation. I would like to welcome two special delegations of women who are with us today, a leading businesswomen delegation from Italy led by Vice President of the Italian Senate, Mrs. Emma Bonino, and a distinguished delegation from representing the Women's Leadership Board at Harvard. Distinguished guests, since its inception in London in 2001 as a not-for-profit, non-governmental organization with the motto, Building Bridges, Building Business, the Arab International Women's Forum has served as a voice for Arab women, showcasing their development, promoting cross-cultural diversity, and creating greater public awareness of women's success and prospects in the Arab world, but always within an international context. Our conference today serves as a forum for dialogue between women in the Arab world and women in the international community to encourage business growth, innovation, intercultural collaboration between successful business leaders in the Arab world and their counterparts internationally. Over the coming 2 days, and with your valued participation and support, we will explore viable initiatives that will enable, empower women to enter into business, to enter into public life and civil service, and make a contribution to their communities in the Arab world. Significant events in the region in the last year have given us all a unique opportunity to face up to the challenges of a new era, to examine the Arab world from a new perspective, exploring the potential and future ramifications within the region with a view to securing the partnership of women and youth and indeed all Arab citizens. Allow me to share with you for a few minutes our perspective on the theme of the conference, Arab Women and Youth as Drivers of Change. Distinguished guests, at a time when the world's governments are reworking economic strategies to restore growth and expectations for increased transparency and accountability in public and private sectors are rising, it is more important than ever that we respond to the aspirations of women and youth in the Arab world by linking economic strategy and broader plans for societal progress. In the last decade and a half, the region has moved in the right direction to remove cultural constraints to gender equality through education, entrepreneurship, and political empowerment. Progress made by Arab women in the last 15 years has been phenomenal and has resulted in a narrowing gap in the gender gap in the MENA region, with particular improvements being made in the areas of literacy, women's entrepreneurship, and political participation. Throughout the Arab region, women outnumber men in higher education and account for around 75% of students enrolled in colleges and universities in the Arab world. Arab women continue to take on prominent roles as decision makers, participating in their economies, in their societies, professors, businesswomen, journalists, judges, lawyers, ministers, bankers, doctors. Women are in all sectors. The number of women holding ministerial positions has also increased in the Arab region. Women represent 50% of the SME enterprise sector, and women's workplace participation has risen from 10% in 86 to 33% in 2008. The Boston Consulting Group estimates puts wealth held by women in the MENA region at $500 billion US. However, to put these achievements and figures into perspective, women are still underrepresented in key sectors. that include sciences, sports, religion, medicine, engineering, and the law. And gender barriers continue to restrict women's real impact on the region's key institutions. Women are active in the agricultural sector in the Arab region, maintaining the region's rural economy and providing the food security, yet the role and contributions of women in rural economies have never been fully recognized and indeed often downplayed. Like their counterparts in Europe, Asia, and the Americas, women in business and the Arab world still struggle with access to finance and networking opportunities, skills building, specialized training, and integration of advanced technology and marketing trends. If we are to achieve gender equality in the region, the Arab community must embrace sustainable development policy and strategy with a right-based focus on the Arab world's richest and most precious resource, its people. Distinguished guests, to achieve that, we must first enhance our investment in education. More can and should be done in the region to enhance women's access to quality education, offering girls the opportunity to excel in sciences, engineering, maths, and to respond to the needs of future employers. There is an urgent need for more formalized partnership and a deeper synergy between the academic and the economic sectors. Second, we must also work on supporting and enabling entrepreneurship in the region. The Arab world's greatest challenge for the critical decade ahead is to counter the rising unemployment and create jobs for the next generation. And we believe that the best way to achieve that is by promoting entrepreneurship, empowering young business owners, and creating the best possible environment to set up small and medium-sized business. We must also focus on job creation and tackling the high youth unemployment in the region. Recently, the Deputy Managing Director of the IMF said in a speech in Beirut last week, 50 to 70 million jobs will need to be created in the region in the next decade. So Arab corporations, governments, and development organizations must commit to promoting public-private partnerships and funding concrete initiatives to diversify the Arab economies, promoting a range of Arab-led programs to develop entrepreneurship and innovation. Distinguished guests, this year in our program for 2012, the Arab International Women's Forum is proud to pursue the initiative it launched last year in London to hold 3 major conferences in the Arab world on young women leaders, the voice of the future. We launched this initiative last year in London. We'll be pursuing that with 3 important conferences in Jordan in June, in Lebanon in September, God willing, and in December in Dubai, and maintaining that momentum next year in other Arab capitals, bringing together young women leaders from 25 to 35 years of age to support them to give them the levels of competency and confidence to set up their businesses and to pursue their future careers. Your Highness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, we are all meeting at a critical time for the Arab region. It's also a time of great economic and financial concern for the world economy at large. It's a time of challenges, but it's also a time of many new opportunities. We have the wealth, we have the talent, we have the funds in the region to shift our priorities towards creating our own sustainable development by focusing on women and youth and enhancing the collaboration between the Arab nations. Indeed, job creation, education, capacity building, sustainable growth, and gender equality are the critical themes of this year's conference, but they are amongst the most important challenges that the region is facing at this moment. Sharjah will no doubt provide us all with the fertile ground and inspire us to contribute a harvest of ideas and initiatives that will not only meet the conference objectives, but contribute to peace and prosperity in the region. We look forward to collaborating with all our distinguished guests, hosts, speakers and delegates to ensure that the agenda for youth and women's advancement in the Arab world moves forward. I thank you for your kind attention and wish you a very successful and productive conference. It gives me great pleasure indeed to invite Her Excellency, Mrs. Noura Al-Nauman, Chairperson, Sharjah Supreme Council on Family Affairs, to come to the podium and address us. Thank you.
Your Highness, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Qassimi, Supreme Council member and ruler of Sharjah, and founder and president of this esteemed university, which is welcoming us to the 11th iteration of the Arab International Women Forum Annual Conference. AUS Chancellor Peter Heath, AIWF Founder Chairman Mohammad, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, my fellow AUS alumni, and the audience. It is especially auspicious that this 11th session of the AIWF annual event is being held at the American University of Sharjah, an institution which is itself very young and yet has achieved so much in such record time as to position itself as the herald of leadership, of successful entrepreneurship, and of all efforts that are channeled to build the capacity of our youth, as well as develop their full potential. The very title and theme of today's forum, Emerging Economies, Emerging Leaderships, Arab Women and Youth as Drivers of Change, is reminiscent of the fast-paced trajectory under the patronage of His Highness of the university we are in, a university that has 3 prominent women on its senior leadership team, namely Vice Chancellor Dr. Sheikh for Student Affairs, Vice Chancellor Dr. Neda Murtaba for Development and Alumni Affairs, Dr. Cindy Dashti, who more recently joined from Texas A&M as the Director of Institutional Effectiveness. All this has occurred with the personal support of His Highness, the President of AUS. Indeed, His Highness, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammad Qassimi, and Her Highness, Sheikh Al-Jawahar bin Mohammad Qassimi, Hafidahumullah, have always espoused the empowerment of women and the youth hand in hand, and consider this to be a natural process. I wish to quote Her Highness as having so often reiterated that as she approached some of her initiatives with deliberate speed and care, it was His Highness who would urge her and encourage her to steadily move forward on these various fronts that I shall outline and share with you a detail during the course of my presentation. I wish to mention here that the same process of natural support and empowerment of women that we witness in this prestigious academic leading the Businesswomen Council is known to all across the UAE and beyond by virtue of her unwavering support of the cause of the Pink Caravan under the Friends of Cancer Patients umbrella. Amira, your model. Amira herself is a keynote speaker in this forum, and I am sure her remarks will speak for themselves. It is now overdue for me to share with you the thorough initiatives and social development strategic planning of the person I consider a role model, a mentor, and a powerhouse of care for grassroots community progress and development. Her Highness Sheikh Al-Jawahar bin Mohammad Qassimi, Chairperson of the Supreme Council for Family Affairs. It wasn't just recently when she became a young grandmother of Maryam, Ahmed, and Alia that Her Highness started thinking of the youth. It was more than 3 decades ago that she looked around in Sharjah for an epicenter that would serve as the nucleus for the young women and children to both nurture their talents and provide them the safe haven for their multifaceted interactions. The Sharjah Ladies Club was opened in 1982 as the first ladies-only club of its kind in the UAE, with a private beach, an Olympic-sized pool, tennis courts, a full-fledged gym, a shooting arena, an art center, a ballet studio, a fitness center, an ice skating rink, a nursery and daycare center, a spa, a beauty boutique, and a fine dining restaurant. The club was established to provide young women and children with a center for creativity and leisure. Furthermore, under the continued guidance and unwavering support of Her Highness. The club also took on the role of providing a space for women leaders in the community to meet and to discuss social issues, as well as organize cultural activities and international conferences. SLC gave birth to the Emirates Women Writers Association, established in 1994, and is still going strong with its mission to embrace young writers and showcase local literary work. The association became an incubator for many budding writers and later launched the Sharjah Literature Award under the patronage of Her Highness Sheikh. We have with us today founding member of the Emirates Women Writers Association and vice chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the award, Her Excellency Mrs. Sultan, a poet and novelist in her own right, and my role model, who told me I could and should finish my novel. So thank you, Sultan. Additionally, the Sharjah Club mission included encouraging young women to take up sports for fitness and as a professional career. With a much broader vision in mind, Her Highness launched the GGC Women's Sports Tournament in 1997 and invited young ladies from across the UAE and the GGC to compete in volleyball, basketball, and table tennis year after year. It was heartwarming whenever these exceptional sportswomen representing their countries, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, and Qatar, met every year and expressed their appreciation and gratitude for an event which they believed was the only one of its kind in the region. The tournament launched the careers of many UAE sportswomen and paved the way for an overall acceptance of sports as a respectable activity within the community. But the success story didn't stop there. Her Highness's dream, as I mentioned earlier, was much broader. This year saw the birth of the Arab Women's Sports Clubs Tournament, as more than 500 sportswomen from 11 Arab countries converged on Sharjah to compete in what the Arab League and the Arab Federation of Olympic Committees called an unparalleled event by all accounts. 15 years of careful planning bore fruit as the UAE's team, represented by the Sharjah Ladies Club, won gold, silver, and bronze in all 5 sports events. But that is not why we think it was a successful event. We believe that in these times of doubt, the tournament brought sisters together to create bonds of hope and personal achievement. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, Her Highness believed in the important role of youth and in the duty of the state to provide all venues and resources possible to develop and better equip the leaders of tomorrow. Towards the end of the 1980s, His Highness launched the Higher Council for Childhood, which aimed at providing children and youth with exciting activities necessary for fostering creativity and harnessing the energy of children and youth towards useful pursuits. The Higher Council evolved into the Children and Girls Centers, an organization which established 16 centers around the city of Sharjah and the towns and cities in the central and eastern regions of the Emirate of Sharjah, with the aim of providing extracurricular activities for all children. Arts, music, information technology, theater, and sports were high on the list of workshops and courses offered at the centers. 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. But the center's greatest achievement is the Children's Parliament, now in its 11th session. Children in every school in Sharjah were encouraged to run their own election campaigns to gain seats in the parliament. The Children's Parliament initiative was launched by Her Highness so that our children can learn the importance of democracy and the skills of debate and leadership. As a natural extension of the children's centers, Her Highness also founded the Youth Centers, an organization which carries on the work of the children's centers when the boys have reached adolescence and require a wider choice of activities. The youth centers also provide workshops and gyms for young men and even have their own parliament where young men and women learn the more mature aspects of democracy and its functions. Sharjah's devotion to serving the family and the community include all components of the family unit. Thus, the creation of the Sharjah City for Humanitarian Services is yet another manifestation of the advanced and deeply rooted care and concern for the family as a whole. As an organization that is more than 33 years old, the city aims at providing education, care, training, and rehabilitation to children and adults with special needs. regardless of the level of disability and yet within the limits that it allows. It also aims at providing job opportunities for people with special needs. Considering the fact that their family is the ideal environment for them, the city provides families with guidance and counseling. In addition, it aims at educating the public on disability issues in hope of preventing future disabilities and bridging the gap between the disabled and the rest of society. Led and administered by Her Excellency Sheikh Mohammad Al-Qassimi, today the city serves more than 2,000 people with special needs. Unlike every community, whether large or small, young or old, the challenges of modern life have caught up with Emirati society, presenting us with a number of social issues which needed to be addressed with a strategy. In 2000, Her Highness founded the Family Development Center, which provides families with a variety of social services, programs, and activities which aim to support families with counseling in general, but especially for widows, divorcees, and individuals with social and economic problems. The center also conducts research, surveys, and field studies of social phenomena, as well as awareness programs to educate all members of society. On average, the Family Development Center serves around 3,000 clients per year. And I still remember how it began with its director, Her Excellency Mohammad, taking up a small corner of Salah's desk during the months of planning for the establishment of the Family Development Centers. Everything starts small and then grows. I have briefly mentioned the Friends of Cancer Patients when introducing women leaders in the UAE. And this again is another initiative created by Her Highness Sheikh in 1999 and as a health promotion organization educating the public on cancer prevention. Under the chairmanship of Mrs. Sultan and her dynamic board of trustees, FOCP's role has grown since then to include treatment of cancer patients at the various medical authorities and centers in the UAE. To date, FOCP has treated more than 750 patients and has achieved this through donations from the community over the past 11 years. FOCP has also worked on an advisory level to a number of government entities and health authorities by creating and designing leading national health campaigns. The most recent achievements being the Pink Caravan, a breast cancer campaign that successfully collaborated with the Ministry of Health, Dubai Health Authority, and Abu Dhabi Health Authority by spreading awareness and screening 15,000 women and men from the remote and rural regions of the UAE over the past 13 months. FOCP strives to represent the voice of cancer patients by continually pushing for improved cancer control policy based on the evidence. Her Highness's faith in the power of civil society to effect change has also led to the establishment of 3 other similar societies for kidney patients, arthritis, and diabetes. And they have been successful in educating the community as well as involving the private sector in supporting awareness campaigns and equipping medical centers. The common denominator between all of these organizations which employ more than 2,000 staff to serve the Emirate of Sharjah and beyond isn't only the great role they play in developing society, but also the fact that they are all led by women leaders from Sharjah, with the exception of the youth centers. His Highness's conviction that the education of women should be reinforced by entrusting them with the running and operation of leading organizations is most visible in Sharjah and in Her Highness's organizations. And recently, Her Highness has turned attention and resources to another organization which had influenced her life as a child and has the potential for shaping future women leaders, the Young Women of the Girl Guides and Girl Scouts Association. Having been chosen by Her Highness Sheikh Fatima bint Mubarak, wife of the late UAE President Sheikh Sultan to be the president of the UAE Association for Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, Sheikh has taken on this role, the same passion and commitment she has approached all of her projects. Through this organization, Her Highness intends to promote community service among children and youth, as well as teamwork, leadership skills, and appreciating other cultures. She believes that these will be the nurturing mothers, directors, ministers, ambassadors, bankers, parliamentarians, and scientists of the future. Your Highness, my dear friends and colleagues, distinguished guests, It has given me great pleasure to be standing amongst you to represent with great pride and great gratitude to His Highness and Her Highness, even very briefly, the Emirate of Sharjah's constant endeavors to equip, empower, and develop our youth and young women. Thank you for inviting me.
Your Highness, thank you so much once again for your presence with us this morning. We know that you have previous purpose to be with us, and we cannot be more honored, more privileged, more grateful, and more thankful to you. Mrs. Haifa Al-Fahum Al-Faylani, Honorable President of the Arab International Forum, we thank you. We wish to express our profound for having chosen Sharjah, the Emirate of Sharjah, under the aegis of His Highness Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammad Qassimi, and this esteemed institution to hold the 11th annual forum. We ask Chancellor Peter Heath to thank you again for our support, for your support of our efforts and your membership. And now, with His Highness's permission, we'll break for coffee until we resume our work in the next session. Thank you so much, everyone.